Man, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy Suave, man. I understand that I have been gone for about 4 or 5 days. I told y'all to join the Telegram, and I'll be sending my picks in there. But we are back with another video, some more college basketball today, man. I'll give y'all a little recap of how the week been going. It's actually been going pretty smooth, man. I've been sending a little pick in, about 1 or 2 picks in the Telegram, making some folks money. I think the only thing we missed this week was the video I dropped. The the Siena game. I think that was the game that we did miss. But other than that, I got 2 more picks for y'all today that I really do like. We're gonna be ACC focused today. But hit that like button, that sub button. Like I said, join the Telegram. If you join the Telegram, you will for sure make some bread. We got thoughts in there, picks in there, plays in there, whatever. Just talks in there. But hit that like button, hit that sub button, man. Let's go ahead and get into these 2 picks. So with the first game, man, we're gonna rock with that Pittsburgh versus Duke game. I told y'all about Pittsburgh, man. They are not good. They are terrible. I mean, Pittsburgh, they sitting at 10-7 right now. I mean, Duke, they sitting at 13-3. Literally, when it comes down to conference play, I mean, Duke, they're 4-1 against conference play. Pittsburgh, they are 1-5 against conference play. They cannot beat anybody in the ACC. I will stamp that till this day. They cannot beat anybody in the ACC. The one team that they beat in the ACC is Louisville. And Louisville, they're worse than Pittsburgh. So, but getting into some numbers here, I mean, they already done played once this year. The one time that they did play, I mean, they literally had Duke -5. Now they got them at -12.5 on FanDuel. But they had Duke -5 against Pittsburgh, and they smacked them. They blew them out the water. They won by 22 against them, and they did that on the road. So not only that, we're in Duke, like we are in Duke with it today. So going based off the recent game history, I mean, like I said, the only team that they don't beat in the ACC is Louisville, and they beat all these other scrub teams. But they lost to Clemson by 9. They lost to Syracuse twice on the road and at home by like a lot, more than 7, because they haven't covered the spread that much. They only covered the spread 3 times out of the 7 games that they did play in the last 10 games. They're 5-5 in the last 10 games. All their L's are from ACC losses. So 2 against Syracuse, Duke, 2 against Syracuse, Duke, North Carolina, and Clemson. All the other teams are bum squads, you know. Going into some stats versus Duke in the last 10, they're 8-2 in the last 10 against the spread. They're 6-4. The only time they didn't cover the spread was against Georgia Tech, which was a division game. They had them at -17.5. The line at -17.5, which is insane for Georgia Tech. I feel like that was a gimme on the cover. But they covered against Syracuse at 14.5. I mean, they didn't cover against Notre Dame at 14.5, but they were on the road as well. But going based since they are at home, they have covered the spread at home in every game except against Georgia Tech. So they covered against Charlotte, they covered against Baylor, they covered against Syracuse, but at home against Georgia Tech was the only time they didn't cover, and it was at 17.5, and they only won by like 5. So getting into some stats here, Pittsburgh, man, their offense is nearly terrible. I mean, they allow opponents to they shoot 42% from the field. Not only that, from the 3-point percentage, they only shoot 33% from the 3. But Duke, on the defensive side of things, they don't have the best defense, but I mean, they allow their opponents to shoot 33% from the 3-pointer from the field. They allow their opponents to shoot 43% from the field. Duke, on the offense side of things, they have a top 30 offense. I mean, they shoot 49% from the field and 38% from the 3, which is crazy good. I mean, Pittsburgh, their 3-point defense is actually pretty solid. They allow opponents to shoot 29% from the 3. But with Duke being at home and Duke taking over, and Pittsburgh not being that great, I mean, against conference play, I mean, Pittsburgh is terrible against conference play. They allow opponents to shoot dang near 40% from the 3, 39% from the 3 against conference play. Not only that, they allow opponents to shoot 46% from the field. Duke, they will shoot 39% from the 3 against conference play, and they shoot 45% from the field. So they're definitely gonna let Duke outplay them today. And then when it comes to conference play on the offensive side of things for Pittsburgh, they shoot 29% from the 3, which is awful. Not only that, they shoot 38% from the field. Duke, on the defensive side of things, is a little bit nearly the same as the normal stats. So Pittsburgh will be underachieving today. Not only that, they turn the ball over 9 times a game. I mean, Duke forced 13 turnovers a game. So as long as Duke forced those turnovers and Pittsburgh go ahead and give up those turnovers anyways, we'll be looking great. I mean, when it comes to turning the ball over again for Duke, I mean, they turn the ball over 9 times a game. I mean, that's not that great either. But Pittsburgh, their turnovers, they only force like 11 turnovers per game. So give me Duke in this game at minus 12.5, and especially at home. They're 9-1 at home. Pittsburgh 2-1 away. But give me Duke minus 12.5. All right, and for the second pick, the final pick, we're gonna go with North Carolina versus Boston College. All right, North Carolina is self-explanatory. North Carolina. All right, they're 14-3. They're 3-0 away, 8-0 at home. Not only that, Boston College, I mean, they're 11-6. They're not too terrible. I mean, they're 7-2 at home. I mean, they got the spread at minus 6.5 for UNC. But me personally, I'm a UNC fan. Not being biased at all. I haven't bet on UNC all year because I'm a fan. I normally don't bet on favorite teams, but I'm believing this team. You know, give me UNC minus 6.5 on the road. I mean, they haven't lost a conference game yet. They're the only team in the conference that haven't losing game. I mean, they're 6-0 against conference play. Why are we gonna lose a game now on a 7-game winning streak? Boston College, I mean, they're 2-4 against conference play. Not too terrible, but they are at the bottom tier with the other teams. But going off UNC last 10 games, they're 8-2, 6-4 against the spread. Not only that, the only 2 L's that they did have was Kentucky and UConn. Okay, so I mean, they covered the spread. They didn't cover the spread against UConn. They didn't cover the spread against Kentucky. They didn't cover the spread against Florida State. But Florida State is a really good team in the ACC as well. So, but they got that win though. But the thing is though, they have covered the spread against Oklahoma. They have covered the spread against Pitt. They have covered the spread against Clemson, North Carolina State, Syracuse. They didn't cover the spread against Louisville. They only beat them by 16. The spread was at minus 21. But they don't. The spread is not minus 21 today. It's minus 6.5. So going to Boston College side of things, they played Notre Dame. They beat Notre Dame, but they haven't covered the spread in the last 3 games. They have not covered the spread. They beat Notre Dame, but they didn't cover the spread at minus 9.5. They lost to Louisville, and it was plus 10.5, and they lost to Syracuse, and it was plus 4. So Georgia Tech, they beat Georgia Tech. The spread was plus 2, and they beat them. That's a really good dub. Wake Forest, they got smacked up by them, and the spread was plus 2. They beat Lehigh, they beat St. John, they beat Holy Cross. But they lost to North Carolina State. If y'all heard that, sorry, that's my cat jumping off stuff. But they lost to North Carolina State, and they did not cover the spread. They was favored in that game as well. But going based off Boston College being at home, being 7-2, I mean, that's a really good record. But UNC is undefeated at home. So going to some numbers here. UNC, they shoot 46% from the field. Not only that, from the 3-point percentage, they shoot 36% from the 3. Boston College defense is god awful. It's terrible. They allow their opponents to shoot 44% from the field. Not only that, from the 3, they allow opponents to shoot 36% from the 3. Now, on the Boston College side of things, their offense is pretty alright. You know, it's top 100. So they shoot 36% from the 3, which is really good, and they shoot 46% from the field. But North Carolina defense is literally top 50. They have a top 50 defense. So from the field, North Carolina they allow their opponents to score. They'll shoot 40% from the field. Not only that, from the 3, they allow their opponents to shoot 29% from the 3, which is really good. Getting into some turnovers per game. I mean, Boston College, they only turn the ball over 8.8 times a game. That's actually pretty solid. It's top 30. But North Carolina, they allow opponents to turn over the ball 11 times a game. They force those turnovers kinda-ish. Not really. But UNC, on the turnover side of things, I mean, they're top 50. They only turn the ball over 10 times a game. Boston College, they force 11 turnovers per game. So as long as we can hold those turnovers down, we'll get the job done. But let's look at UNC and Boston College versus conference play. So UNC versus conference play, dude. Boston College defense is terrible against the conference play. All right, but we'll get into that here shortly. So North Carolina, they shoot 43% from the field. Not only that, they shoot 32% from the three against conference play. Boston College, they allow opponent conference play to shoot 48% from the field. Not only that, 40% from the three. That is terrible. Okay. So on UNC side of things, on the defense side of things, and Boston College offense side of things, so UNC defense is spectacular against conference play. They are only allow opponents to shoot 24% from the three, which is crazy good. Not only that, from the field, they allow opponents to shoot 36% from the field against conference play. It's crazy good. But Boston College, they shoot 45% from the field, 37% from the three-point line. But I feel like North Carolina defense is top tier. I feel like the team is rolling, 7-game win streak. I feel like UNC will cover this spread easily today. But that's going to do it for the video today. If you enjoyed the picks, I'm sorry I've been gone for the past couple of days. I've been snowed in. If you was in the Telegram, you know my reason on why I haven't dropped the video. But glad to be back. Glad to give y'all some knowledge. Glad to give y'all some picks. But hit that like button, that sub button. Tell Lightly, join the Telegram. It's in the description. Just click the link. But your boy Suave is out, man.